Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. My name is Ben Gregory. I am a Special Olympics athlete from Montgomery County, and you are listening to episode 3 of So What, a Special Olympics Indiana podcast. And this week I have Elesia Yoon, I guess you call yourself the Dean of ALPS University.
That is what Jeff Mueller calls me.
That works. Well, you are here to talk a little bit about the current situation of ALPS University during this pandemic, exile, extended break. There we go. That we're on right now. And then maybe a couple other little things. We were talking a little bit before the show started, and sounds like you have some pretty cool stuff to announce to some athletes.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff, so it's not all just more news about what we're not doing. So we have some good news about what we are going to do. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody.
Good news is always wonderful in this period of time. And just a forewarning, I will go ahead and warn all of our listeners, if you hear some like very loud whooshing noises, there is a very bad windstorm going on here in Crawfordsville right now. And I'm up on the second floor of my house in my bedroom recording. So there's where the studio is my bedroom, pulling back the curtain. And also I'm home alone, so my dogs might go crazy here in a little bit. So if you hear some barking noises, I'll try to go in and scrub those out on the editor later. But just a fair warning of being completely transparent with everybody.
Well, I think we're all in that moment of time where kids and pets are allowed nowadays. So.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have any of the kids part, but the dogs are definitely a handful enough. So if you'd like to explain who you are and what you do with the Special Olympics Indiana and what ALPS University is, we'll go ahead and get that started.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Elesia Yoon. I've been with a volunteer for Special Olympics about 14 years now. So I am a member of the Area 8 management team. That's where I've started, and I still participate. And then over time, I've taken on other volunteer responsibilities with Special Olympics. So my other large part of what I do is I am the director of the ALPS University management team. And for those of you who are not familiar with ALPS University, it is a leadership academy, I'll say, for lack of a better word, but it's a university-like experience for Special Olympics athletes who would like to be trained in leadership skills in a variety of areas. So it is, I'll say we have, let me pull up my props because it changes. A moment. All right, so we currently are offering 7 major areas in our curriculum for ALPS University. So if you'd like to come to ALPS University, you can come and take the Introduction to Athlete Leadership, and through that class, you will hear about the major areas in which you can pursue your studies. We meet twice a year at Butler University. So we meet in April for 2 days, and we meet in October for 2 days. There are 5 required classes to complete a major. So it will take you about 2.5 years to complete a major, just as it would any college student. Each class is about 7 hours of instruction over the weekend, broken up into 2 days, and then you are required to complete what we call a practicum experience in the in-between. So you have about 5 months after your course to complete a practicum with the support of your community, your mentor, whoever it is that you need to help complete that. And that's something that happens in class, that you identify what kind of help you need to complete that practicum. Our major areas are communications. That's where you learn to be a global messenger and write great speeches for those of you who wish to go out and about and give speeches in your community. Our next major is the governance major. We teach you skills to be part of an input council, athlete input council, or be a member of a board or committee. Our next major is health and fitness. That's where you learn about health and fitness topics, advocate in your community. Next one is sports. This is where you get an introduction to coaching, health and fitness, and you can choose what coaching path you may wish to pursue. Then we have the technology major, and that includes skills in digital media, photography, social media, PowerPoint. So if you are interested in technology and participating as a leader in that way, that would be a major you should look at. And we have new, last year was the visual arts major. And so that's leadership through visual arts. So that is for our athletes who may not wish to give speeches and are introverted. So I'm an introverted leader. So I far prefer things to express and help and support leadership through more quiet ways myself. So I don't particularly care to stand up and give speeches. So that's that major is kind of catered for people like me and athletes who prefer that as well. And then our last major we were going to introduce this spring is event planning. So that is a major where you can learn how to help manage and plan our events. So we have several athletes that run events at summer games for us. So if you're interested in being an event lead, that would be a major you might want to take a look at as well.
And I remember when there only used to be like 3 or 4 majors. When I first started as a coaching major, there was coaching, governance, and global messenger, and I think there was one more. I can't remember what it was. So it's grown quite a bit over the years.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So it's kind of, hopefully we have something for everyone. And it's just really exciting to help train athletes to go out into their community and support their peers and their communities in whatever way they're comfortable doing that.
And I know some of the athletes that have gone through ALPS in the past have returned as instructors for different
Correct.
classes.
Yeah. So that's an opportunity as well. You can come back and train to be an instructor, or you can train to be a teaching assistant in the classroom. That's another role we've developed over the last couple of years as well. So if you are not someone who wishes to lead the lesson, but just help in the classroom, because there's a lot of time within the class that is hands-on, or you're working on your practicum, or you're working on an assignment in class. And if you'd like to be the person that goes around and checks on people and answers questions, we have that role available now as well.
Awesome. So it sounds like it has definitely grown a little bit over the years, which is actually a lot, more than a little. So I had a couple questions in my head and my dog started barking, so I completely forgot them.
That's okay. That's okay. I will put a plug in for the weekend as well. So one other thing that has happened over the couple of years in the growth of ALPS University is our partnership with Butler University. Mm-hmm. So we meet it on the Butler campus. The Butler students partner with us and also participate in the weekend, and they help in the classroom. They help at registration. There's a group that helps with our social event for the evening. So ALPS takes place on Saturdays and Sundays. So Saturday night we do something fun, and the Butler students help us plan that and participate and hang out with us all weekend. So that's really great as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not all work. There's lots of fun going on Saturday nights.
And even if there is a lot of work to be done, it's all actually a lot of fun work to do.
I think so.
It's not all just sit in a classroom and learn stuff. The Butler students do come through, and we do these things called brain breaks, and we go out in the hall and kind of move around. And it's also for our listeners, I've also graduated ALPS University twice. I've gotten the athletes as coaches degree and then the technology degree. So I am a former ALPS graduate and going through again as the for a governance degree, I believe at the moment is what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so you're a proud alumni.
And going through governance with 2 classes since I was able to do the AIC thing, the Athlete Input Council, which right now is kind of hard to go and sit on meetings because of this this lovely coronavirus canceling the world.
Well, I'll just put a shout out there to all of our technology athlete leaders. This is a great time to kind of help figure out how to support your community like you're doing now. So are there Zoom athlete input councils that could go on? Those kinds of things. I kind of, just encourage everybody out there to figure out the ways that we can meet anyway, like we're doing right now. And Ben, this is a great example of you as an athlete leader using your technology degree to reach out to people with this podcast. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, I've had a few people that I've talked to about this podcast, because one of the classes you have to go through overall is one of the ones that I do want to talk about specifically, which is the leadership capstone.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and I know one of the big things with the capstone thing is you have to have a capstone project. And last time before I took leadership, I came up with the city showdown, which is the basketball fundraiser between Crawfordsville's police and fire, and then the Special Olympics. Got hollered at by both the teachers, who one of them is Ken Melvin, an athlete from Crawfordsville. The other one is my sister, Tori Gregory. Excuse me, Dr. Tori Gregory. And they both hollered at me. It was like, you could have waited to do that for the leadership capstone. And here I am once again doing a big project like this podcast, and I wait to the leadership capstone.
That's okay. But once you're a graduate, you should keep doing projects. So I would say, it is a great capstone, but as a graduate, you should keep on keeping on and coming up with these great ideas and continue to lead. So this is fantastic.
So yeah, can you talk about what the a little bit what the leadership capstone is, and
Yeah, sure. So
ideas?
every major, every new athletes, as I said earlier, take Introduction to Athlete Leadership, and you only need to take that once. Once you start a major, you have 2 core classes for your major, and then you can pick 1 elective class. So those are 3 classes. And then you finish your major with the leadership capstone. And what that is to put those 3 classes to use and all the skills and concepts and key things that you learned in those classes and apply them to a bigger project. So for instance, like Ben is doing, if you would put on podcasts like this, or his example he just used of this basketball tournament. And I believe for your sports major, Ben, you created a website for coaches resources, correct?
The Special Olympics coach resources. Yeah, I made that for the technology degree.
Okay.
But since I was already a basketball coach through the other ones, I just kind of used both my degrees to try to create a website for it.
Yeah, that's a great example. So if you're going for a second, third, fourth major, you would again take those 2 core classes, the elective for that major, and then repeat capstone. You would not have to repeat Intro to Athlete Leadership. But Ken's doing a great job, and Tori, who also co-teaches that, kind of getting people to work together in groups and kind of combine majors into coming up with a project. One of the best examples we've had of that was the soccer group that did a 1-year project investigating and surveying and getting everybody's thoughts on whether soccer should be a sport, and then working with the Athlete Input Council at the state conference to kind of have a vote about that and bring that recommendation to the state office. So that was a capstone project.
Yeah, I was actually about to mention that. I was like, for those athletes that are listening and you've heard about the soccer thing or the soccer tournament that was supposed to happen. Here's hoping that it still is happening. That was supposed to happen in July, I think. July or August. I don't remember. I don't have the calendar up in front of me. But that was actually a capstone project that athletes through the athlete leadership program came up with.
Yep, that's it. One of the examples we have of a group working together, and then you can do one individually if that's your preference. But the idea of the capstone is you kind of take it to the next level of leadership and go big.
Yeah, it's a good way for athletes to get taken out of their shell. I know some athletes just think that the Special Olympics is for sports and that's its primary thing, which, I mean, it is. That is the biggest part of the Special Olympics. But there's a whole nother world on the other side of the curtain, per se. I like to keep thinking that 18 years ago when I first started in all of this, I played flag football when I was in middle school for the team here in Crawfordsville, and I never expected to be able to do half the things that I'm doing today. And a lot of it I have to do because of going through ALPS and people pushing me, and because it's just a big family at ALPS. It's like I've made some very, very good friends through the athlete leadership program, and it's honestly just a wonderful addition to everything else that the Special Olympics does here in Indiana.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's yes. If you come, like Ben's saying, you'll meet athletes from all over the state. And I have to say, Indiana has one of the best programs. So a lot of people come from other programs, other states, to come and see how we do it. So I'm really proud of what we've done together here in Indiana. And as Ben said, it's a great next step as an athlete, to kind of share your great ideas and make a difference.
And you get to hear Jeff Mueller, our president and CEO, put his foot in his mouth and challenge all the athletes to become to take his job. And now he's got what, like at least 10 after his job at this point.
Yep.
And me included, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Yeah.
But,
well, and ALPS University is there to help you make that dream come true. So.
Exactly. So like I had said at the beginning of this, you had mentioned that you had a couple interesting announcements, and this is what I eventually hope that this platform can be used for, is say Jeff or Tracy or Patrick or Scott or anybody else at the state office. Hopefully I know I got Patrick coming next week. We're going to talk about some of the sports aspect of stuff. So eventually I'd hope to get all of those people that I listed on here at some point. I know eventually I'd like this to be a thing where the state office or somebody can announce something to the state, the Special Olympics Indiana, like, hey, we're going to be doing this really cool thing. If you want to know more information, check out the So What podcast. Eventually I'd hope that this is what this could be used for, but you had mentioned that you did have a pretty awesome announcement. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, let me wrap up my ALPS information. No, you're fine, because I almost forgot, and now I didn't. So, so for those of you who are wondering what's going on with practicums that we're due in spring, please, if you have them done, please go ahead and turn them in just as you would. Either mail them to the office or fax them to the office or email alpsuniversity@gmail.com. Any of the traditional ways of turning that in, we will take them now. But if you don't have it done, and of course with the stay at home, you may have trouble finishing, or the events being postponed, you may have trouble finishing, or you can't get your paperwork done because you can't see your ALPS coordinator or county coordinator, we are extending that deadline to what the deadlines are for fall. So since ALPS University for spring is canceled, our next meeting will be fall, so we will follow those deadlines. So your practicums are now due September 7th, which is the fall practicum deadline that we had already put in the PIG. So we're going on the timeline that is now fall, if that makes sense.
And when is the fall session? Do you have the date for that?
Yes, so that is October. You think I would have these memorized? I always know them, but I doubt myself for a second, just because. So fall has now changed a little bit so that we can include the Butler students as well.
Okay.
So typically we have done the fall during their fall break, so the Butler students haven't been involved. But this year we changed that so that they now may also be with us in the fall. So our dates are October, I don't want to say this wrong. Let me look, I think 17th, what is that weekend? 17th and 18th.
Okay. So.
Yeah, right. Ooh, hang on. Fall ALPS is October 24th and 25th.
All right. So that's when the next ALPS is. Hopefully we can see everybody there, and we can also maybe, as we were talking about beforehand, do a somewhat live version of So What there.
That would be so much fun.
Because I think that
I would love that.
I can throw it onto what I could probably do is I could throw it on Facebook Live and then download the video and put it also on the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is actually kind of grown a little bit faster than I was expecting it to. I was only expecting by this point on episode 3 to have maybe 15 subscribers and maybe about 50 video or views of video. And no, the first video blew up. It has like 300, almost 400 views. I've got like 20, 24 subscribers.
Wow, that's great.
Like, I mean, this is probably the most successful video project I've ever done. I've done some other stuff on YouTube that I probably shouldn't talk about. And just me and a couple friends playing some video games and being dumb. But it's fun, and I'm hoping this can just continue to skyrocket and be super successful. Oh, and for those of you that are were wondering, when she did mention something known as the PIG, that is the Program Information Guide. Basically it's our Bible for Special Olympics. It tells us when everything is and what everything is, and basically, kind of. Am I right about that, or am I off on that?
Yeah, it has all of the rules for the sports, when all the events are, all the forms that you need to fill out for whatever you're participating in, has all the calendars for all of the areas.
Basically, the most important piece of information you can have.
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
oh goodness, Ben, I just found the date.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna have to say this correctly now because I was off.
Cool. So if there's suddenly a gap in our audio, go ahead and say that there was a blooper that we're editing out. So here's what the actual date for ALPS is.
October 10th and 11th.
Oh, so it was none of the other dates that we thought it was.
Oh my gosh, that's just embarrassing. Okay.
That's live recordings are always the best.
I should just know that, and I don't know why today. It's just not sticking in my head.
We are all, well, I mean, as I've said in the other 2 episodes, technically 3 episodes because one part was a 2-parter, but it's still episode 2 anyways. This is a very strange time, and I don't think any of us are used to it, and a lot of things that are happening with the way things are being run, and the way suddenly we were like all running around doing everything in the world, and suddenly stops.
Yep.
Everything kind of just fades away, and you forget. I mean, I forgot, like, before they announced that Summer Games was on hold, I couldn't even remember when the dates for those were. Yeah. I can never remember when Summer Games is. I just know it's the second weekend in June, and I go from there.
Yep, I hear you. And I'm so laser focused on the spring one that the fall one is just fall ALPS is just not on my radar yet. So that date is not stuck in my head yet.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of ways, but unfortunately it's going to be the next time we end up hopefully being able to see each other all again.
Well, so great segue. In the meantime, can I tell you about the new fun thing?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to hear about this.
I'm going to share a little slideshow. Okay, hang on. Forgot to share screen before I made it big.
Oh,
okay, so I am happy to announce that we are starting in the next week or 2 a media video contest.
All right.
So there will be, all right, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, there will be 7 categories.
Okay.
This will be, I believe, on YouTube, some of the media we're working out. So when you download the instructions, it'll have those details of formats and how to submit. But what we're doing is we have 7 categories. So you may choose the category that you like best, or you can enter in all of the categories if you so desire. And every week, 2 winners will be drawn from the pool. So if you submit a video, you get your name put into the drawing. So if you submit 4 videos, your name goes in 4 times. Then 2 names will be drawn each week, and each winner will receive a $25 souvenir gift certificate that they can use at the next live event at the souvenir tent, table, booth, whatever it may be at the event you are at.
Wow.
So the categories, and did you have a question, Ben?
No, I was about to say, and some of those souvenir things that you can get at those tents, those are some pretty cool things. So that kind of makes me want to hop in and definitely be involved with that.
Yeah, and you should. So yeah, so it'll be great. So we'll run it. I'm not sure. We'll just keep running it until we're out of this stay at home, I guess. But like I said, use the link that's with this podcast to download the instructions for all the details. But that's kind of the overview. Try to keep your video to 3 minutes or less. But here are the categories. So one category is, who are you hanging out with these days? So introduce us to your family member, your friend, your roommate, or even your pet. What are you doing to stay active during this time? So share your favorite home workout, your favorite school of strength, or your Fit 5 activity, or any other thing you're doing to stay active.
Hey, Melanie, you should totally enter in that one. Sorry.
Hey, no, shout outs are good. Boredom busters. So share how you're staying in a good mood or inspiring others to stay upbeat. So share your creative, fun, interesting, clever, zany, or any tried and true way that you have kept from being bored or add a change to your day. So one thing my family's doing is you can play virtual cards. So you can so we get on the computer and play euchre and hearts, and we even play with my brother who lives in Korea. So we picked a time at night where we're all up and we play cards literally with people all over the world.
I'm say I'm a gamer. I'm currently staring at my Xbox right now.
There you go.
I happen to look up at it, and so I understand that.
Okay, next category. What are you doing to eat healthy? So show us your favorite health snack, drink, or meal, or tell us how you're keeping up a healthy eating routine. Because if I know I have been snacking and finding additional meals in the day for no good reason. So how are we all kind of keep healthy and not overeat because we're bored? Why are you the biggest sport fanatic? So show us your fandom for your favorite sport or team. It can be a local, national, international team in any sport. What do you miss the most about Special Olympics? So feel free to share a poem, a story, a song, make a slideshow out of photographs or drawings, however you want to do that. And then this last category is for ALPS University participants. So if you're a current student or a graduate or alumni, what are you doing to be brave in the attempt? So show us the athlete leader. Describe what it means to be a leader in these tough times and share leadership stories from your community. So I will say I would showcase Ben as a great example of what he's doing to provide some leadership through this time.
I might have to enter in that one.
Yeah, please do. And then the last one is a non-competitive category, but it's for everybody out there who supports athletes or athletes who don't wish to be in the competitive category. So just give us a shout out. So what would you like to say to support or inspire others right now? So again, athletes, volunteers, family, friends, just to share a positive message with the community. So your name won't be entered on this one, but it's just kind of a way for at least family and volunteers to participate, since the competitive categories are for the athletes.
Very, very interesting. I think that will help get a lot of athletes back involved in doing stuff. And yeah, like we had mentioned, the information and rules and everything, the categories and everything will be down in the description of this video. So definitely go take a look at that. And I will also, as an extra help, if people are kind of scrolling through, like say that they're watching it on their phone or something, you can scroll all the way down and I'll make it a pinned comment. So it'll be the very first comment, no matter what. If anybody else comments below it, it'll stay at the very top of it. So I'll make sure it's on there a couple different times so people can definitely see that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so we'll have that. As things evolve, if there are any updates, I can let Ben know or come back on later. We have some other ideas in the works, so maybe in a couple weeks, Ben, I can have some more fun stuff to share.
Absolutely, I'd definitely love to have you come back. So is there a deadline for this contest for the first part of it, or?
No, we'll have the start date in the instructions.
Okay.
I think people can start working on creating content now. So we're going to get this up and running this week, I assume. And hopefully the first drawing will be sometime next week. So You're ready to roll, do it.
So, and you said the videos would be like roughly 3 minutes long if they did a video?
No more than 3.
means I'm going to have to go make another video.
Short can be good. Short is fine as well, but kind of we'll keep them to 3 minutes just because we hope to have a lot of entries. So
yeah,
everybody can watch everyone else's submissions, and we're kind of figuring out how maybe we can do a, vote for your favorites.
I was going to say, are you going to do some, that's what was going to be my next question. Are you going to have like a little panel of judges, or is it going to be something decided by the whole state office crew, or are you going to do like a poll, like a little poll voting thing?
Well, so for winners, it's just random draw. It's just like
Okay.
many contests where your name goes in as many times as you submit. So those will just get pulled out of a hat kind of thing. The only thing is we will screen, so please keep your content appropriate, and don't offend anybody. And we do reserve the right to kind of send those back to people if we feel like the language is inappropriate or something something that might offend others is portrayed. So those are the only restrictions on that, of course, which is just good etiquette that we all should follow anyway.
Yes.
So right now there's no judging per se, but maybe we can do a popular vote by, the thumbs up on the YouTube. So who's got the most likes? We'll just see how that goes. Maybe we could have a category draw for the most popular video at the end.
And if you would like, besides announcing it obviously on like probably through a newsletter or on Facebook or however, if you want to come and announce winners back on here, you're more than welcome to come back anytime.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great.
You can use this however. This platform is open for pretty much any Special Olympics, anything that I can get. Like I've talked to people how, hey, it would be really cool if I could get like, Tim Shriver to come on here and talk about everything, which, I mean, obviously that's a big dream, but you never know in the world. So
that is right. And I encourage you, Ben, to reach out to him and ask him.
I mean, that's all it took for the showdown to start. I just reached out to the mayor and it kind of blew up from there. So who knows? Maybe I will.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to this, I don't know if it'll ever end up on your desk. You're more than welcome to come on. I'd love to have you as a guest. But, as far, sorry,
one more thing. Any of you techies, social media peeps out there, please, reference this podcast so everybody knows about the contest and share out that it's an idea, and come check out the instructions and directions to enter.
And definitely, there is a Facebook page now. I don't think I mentioned this in the last episode. There is an actual Facebook page for So What. So if you go and find that, like it, follow it, share it with your friend, share it with their friend's friends, share it with your friend's dog, share it with everybody. Try to get the word out as best you can. I've put it on a couple different Special Olympics groups that I'm a part of. So, and if you are a part of anybody listening or a part of any other Special Olympics groups, definitely push this out there, get as many people involved in this contest as you can.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The more the merrier. Well, unless you've got any other things about ALPS you'd like to talk about or about anything else.
No, just that I'll miss everybody this time, but we'll be back together again soon. So
say October will be here before we know it.
Yes, it will. I'll be going, Ben, I'm not ready for fall.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and I will definitely get a hold of you fairly soon to see about when I can get you back and maybe have Jeff back with you, because I know he's definitely going to be very much a recurring guest on here giving updates on everything.
You're welcome. It was fun. Thanks for inviting me.
So thank you all for listening. My name is Ben Gregory, and I will hopefully have this up by Wednesday. That's the plan, as I say in the channel teaser that came out on Monday. That I will have videos we record on Sundays, and they'll be up by Wednesday, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Thank you all again for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next week.